What's up? I'm back. It's Hec Martinez. It's come another edition of Sci-Fi Decoded. This time we're going to go into what me and SK consider the best sci-fi show out right now, Sanctuary. Now, if you tune into this section, or you call yourself a sci-fi fan, and you don't get how much codes are being dropped in Sanctuary, I'm about to put you onto it right now. Understand, Sanctuary, over the last, when we did Thor, it was more of a cultural thing, where we talk about Norse mythology and how that whole culture thing could relate back and forth through all the cultures and people's own mythology, from voodoo down to, I don't know, Egyptian, Kemetic stuff. It crisscrosses all those parallels. But this time, we're just going to get into the real nitty-gritty fact of ancestral shit and aliens, straight up. Okay? Alright, boom. Now, what's Sanctuary about? Sanctuary is a place where this woman, who's an immortal, another code right there, ding ding, right, gathers all what you would call the abnormal beings and gives them a sanctuary, a safe haven from us here on Earth, and or humans, excuse me. Now, what these abnormals are beings that have special abilities. They're humanoids, but they're not human, and they have different things with them. So they had a mermaid down there once. Her main aide and her best friend is actually a Shaggy, aka Sasquatch, aka Bigfoot, aka Yeti. We're gonna get into that a little bit later. And she actually has a werewolf as her main technician, and her ex-husband, I guess, or whatever, lover, has the ability to teleport, and he got that from vampire blood. Another thing, they even get into vampires and how they're really a race. If you could go back, SK talked about it before. It's not the same quote unquote say vampires that we look. Of course, they do it in a sense of, so we can recognize them. They have some of our abilities, but they actually have a history and lineage that doesn't really come up in most of your vamp stuff that happens. Alright, so that's a brief rundown of the series, but let's get into the nitty gritty. I don't know if you guys remember about Macalisi, she was discussing Hollow Earth. Let's get into that.
So basically, what is the underworld? Well, the underworld is basically the Hollow Earth, and it is also known as the Agatar, and it's a location that a lot of people live, as species live. It's a very elusive mythology. Some people believe it, some people say there's conspiracy, some people say there's not. It's physical, it's interdimensional, and it's basically the center of the earth. Agatar is what you can call all of it, and in Agatar there is a highly evolved place of the capital, which is called Shambhala. Now the question is, what type of people or race lives there? Well, it's all types of beings there. What we would probably look at them, we'd probably call them alien, because they're so diverse and so abnormal from what we're used to seeing. They go from Yeti-looking, big and small, to cone-head people, to people who just have blonde hair and blue eyes. There's people who from Lemuria, descendants from Atlantis. There's also ambassadors from the 32 races, the alien races that contributed DNA to our planet. So then you have aliens, ambassadors who stay down there, who can basically talk. Very, very highly advanced civilization, more advanced than we are on the surface.
Alright, now, guess who else has brought up Hollow Earth? Sanctuary. Now, there in Hollow Earth, at one point you see Helen Magnus, the main character show, talk about Hollow Earth is where all abnormals originate from. Now understand, abnormals are also what we can consider aliens, or the beings that were here before us. Okay? Like you've seen it brought up in Hellboy and other things like that, and you've heard Matt talk about it and bringing up Shambhala. There's places in Earth, under Earth, where the beings of advanced technology and obviously culture and intelligence are living on the ground right now. And Sanctuary has brought that into their series, in a sense, saying that's the where originally all these beings that you see that's no explanation from Earth come from. They also have a race of humans living down there, or from the humans, whatever, well, not really human, whatever they are, humanoids with advanced technology. Now, her father, who was from Britain, also lives down there. Now, what that's trying to bring into you is we have these cities down there that where some people, this race, like the architect, who is actually the architects, is who actually these group of humans who live underground is what these people represent. Architects are, you heard SK brought this up before, a group of people with advanced technology that basically, you know, oversee things going on, and there's different races going back and forth, and you know, all the games played on a different level. And of course, in these cities, some humans are advised to live there. Hence, her father was advised to live down there. You know, these are some of the new cities, Max spoke about that before, also, like New Berlin and things like that, where different races and humans just coexist. And this is actually happens in Hollow Earth, or Shambhala, the underground. And that's what Sanctuary is coming into. Now, we really get to nitty gritty, how they connected the Hollow Earth to the Indian gods, and how they understood the fact that the Indian gods are actually forces. They made the Indian gods actual forces of, say, mass destruction on Earth. Take for example, Kali. They made Kali into a spider. If you get slick, the 8 limbs to 8 limbs. That was able to, whose avatar to who you're able to communicate with, could control tidal waves on Earth. Pure destruction. That Kali that they had on the show actually had the ability to destroy the Earth, create land masses, new continents, shift plates, seismic plates inside the Earth. If you guys get into the Indian god of Kali and understand the power and destruction that this goddess has, you will see the parallel of what they're trying to make. Sanctuary even had the ability to talk to the gods, but you have to be in a near-death or translucent state, which is kind of like a level of meditation headed towards ascension. And that was the only way to communicate with these guys. And guess what? That wasn't the only god that was there. Look, I get into this so much with this show, and maybe I may have part 2, 3s, and 4s. But you guys need to check out Sanctuary, understand connections being made, and realize this is not no little eeny, meeny, miny, mo stuff. This is omniversal forces that they are talking about. They're talking about forces that are dealing with the earth politics that you guys don't know. Not Osama bin Laden and Obama and crap like that. We're talking real stuff. Alright? So look, I'm very excited to discuss Sanctuary. Couldn't wait to put this video down. Hope you guys check the show out, decode it for yourselves, and have some fun. Till next time.